Hello, hello. I just filmed today's episode of the In My 30s podcast with Leah Turner, who is an artist here in Nashville. She splits her time between California, where she's from, and Nashville. But I've known of her for at least a decade, and I've never really gotten to know her or even hung out with her, just kind of seen her in passing and obviously knew of her music. But I had so much fun getting to know her today. And she's such a joy and so bubbly and confident and has some sass. And I was honestly a little nervous to interview her just because I've known of her for a long time. But so she has a really cool story. It was so neat to hear how she got to Nashville. She had this sort of very serendipitous meeting with music legends, and they connected her with people in Nashville. She's been signed to a major label. She's had songs on country radio. She's been in the top 30. A lot of times in Nashville and in country, you feel like you kind of have to fit in the box that already exists here. And she, especially in the last few years, has really embraced all sides of her background. She is currently the highest charting solo Mexicana in country music. And now she's really known for blending her Mexican heritage into her music. So it's country, but she also has bilingual songs. She's really embracing who she is. It's really cool to see someone not try to fit in any box except the one that's true for her. So I'm so glad that she came here today, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. In my 30s. Welcome to the In My 30s podcast. Today we have a special guest, country artist here with us today, Leah Turner. You look so adorable.
Oh, thank you.
I'm obsessed with your outfit.
Thank you.
I have known you I've known of you for 15 years, probably.
Maybe.
Since I got to Nashville, which I think this year it'll be 15 years.
Probably not. Then I haven't lived in Nashville for 15 years.
Okay, you haven't lived here. But were you putting out music 15 years ago?
No, I didn't put out music until 2014. So is that 15? That's not 15 years.
Yeah.
Is it? What is it?
It's over 10. I know that.
Yeah.
But maybe I've just been familiar with you since my early days. So I just think of it as,
I've been here a minute.
You've been here a minute. Okay. Yeah. So you have such a unique perspective because you were signed to a major and now you're independent.
Yeah.
And you've also, from what I've witnessed, just watching you, you've started to really embrace your Mexican roots, which I really wasn't aware of until you brought that to light. So I think that's super cool. So I wanted to start with how you got into music. You're from California originally? Yeah. Okay, so how did you first get into music and where you're from, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I don't ever remember music really never being a part of my life, but there was a pivotal moment when I was a little girl that I sat down at a piano and I played it very delicately versus how kids, bang. And my mom was like, that's it. We've got a star here. She's going to be in everything. Yeah. So then the foundation of musicality really started being built into my life. I went to school in Santa Barbara to become an attorney.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
I didn't really realize that, I knew there were music careers, but I didn't really understand it. You know what I mean? It was just such an outlandish, I guess, goal. I was always in voice lessons. I was always in guitar lessons. I was always in, dance lessons. I was in all the lessons, but really not the more of theater. And I was like, I do not want to do theater. That is not who I am. And no, thank you.
Oh, that's funny.
So
even as a kid, you were like, theater is not for me.
No, I never wanted to be in drama class. Never. I was in drama class, but it wasn't I wasn't excited about being in drama class. I think also too, it's a lot of times I didn't really fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
One, because, my dad's a cowboy, a real cowboy in the rodeo. Yeah. And my mom's Mexican. And so I always kind of just had lots of friends that were different walks of life. So I never really I'm a drama kid, or I'm a rodeo queen, or I'm Mexican,
I get that.
I'm a cheerleader. I was always just bouncing around to different walks of life because I came from two different walks of life. Anyways, so I went to school to be an attorney, and then they had a songwriting class, and I was like, what? They can teach you how to write songs. And I had been writing songs, just not really realizing what I was doing, you know? So I took a songwriting class, and then I got accepted into the Academy of Montecito and was trained opera there. So then this had really started like, oh, wow, I could really do this, you know?
Yeah.
So then in the songwriting class, the final for your class was to write a song, and whoever song got picked would sing in front of a celebrity guest.
Okay.
That celebrity guest was Kenny Loggins. And my song got picked, and I sang in front of him, and he said, I'm not telling you to drop out of school, but I'm telling you have a future in music.
Oh my gosh.
And so the summer went by, because that was at the end of, the school year, and called my parents, and I said, I'm not going back. I'm moving to LA. And they were like, finally, you figured it out.
That's so cool that they were so supportive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I moved to LA, bounced around there for a while, odd jobs, working retail, bartending, hostessing, everything, cleaning houses. I used to clean Matt Williams of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I used to clean his house, take care of his 5 kids. Like, you name it, I have done it. Walk dogs, I have done it.
What part of California or Los Angeles?
In LA. So they lived in Beverly Hills, and then I lived in West Hollywood.
Okay. I feel like West Hollywood's like the first place you go.
Yeah. Well, the first place I actually moved to was in Brentwood.
Okay.
And then I moved to West Hollywood right off of Little Santa Monica and Robertson.
Okay,
So I was in that nice little pocket. And then I ran into a guy named Humberto Catica, his wife, at a restaurant, and she said, if you're any good, I'll send, your demo to my husband. He's won 24 Grammys. And I was like, everybody's husband in this town's done something, whatever. My mom said, you send that demo. And 2 weeks later, I was recording with David Foster and Humberto Gatica. And then I got the music back, and we recorded the record plant and had the best musicians, Nathan East on bass. A guy named Chris Boardman charted it all out. He charts out all of David and Humberto's stuff. And the music just was not me. It was like very what those guys are really good at. And that's Michael Bublé, Josh Groban, Whitney Houston, just that very Barbara Streisand stuff, And so I had to go and just be like, within tears in my eyes, and just be like, this is not me. Like, I'm a cowgirl, I'm edgy, I'm all of these things. And so that's where my journey began here in Nashville, to where they said, all right, well, where do you want to go? And I said, well, I'd love to go to Nashville, but I don't know anybody there, I don't know anything. So they set up a couple of meetings, and here we are.
I mean, I can't imagine better people to be connected to. I'm more familiar with David Foster, but I mean, it seems like if he picks up the phone for anybody, that they're going to answer. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you have an instinct that country, I mean, given you said your dad's a cowboy, like given that background, was country at the forefront of your mind, or were you more not sure yet? You were willing to kind of like explore.
Well, I think that I was just trying to figure it out because, I left home at 17, but I'd never left home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never moved to another state.
Right.
And so I was like, well, maybe I can, because people think California is just LA, and it's not. There's a huge, Western community there. And also, my whole family's there. I'm an only child.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't necessarily that it wasn't the forefront of my mind. Just I didn't really know how to facilitate it. I didn't really understand. And when you have Los Angeles right there, that's the mecca of music. So like, why can't I do it here? I am, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am a cowgirl, so I can just put that there. That's not how it works.
But also the magic of what happened for you would not have happened had you not been there.
And that's the thing. You just kind of like have to, not to sound cliche, but always, trust your path and trust God and trust His timing and what you have a desire in your heart, and it may not look like the way you thought it was going to look. You may not arrive the way that you thought, on the street that you thought, or the turn that you thought, but if you keep going, you will arrive.
Definitely. Hold that thought one second.
Okay.
I want to turn off the air so it doesn't come back on.
We're going to die of heat exhaustion. Just kidding. This cup is so hot.
It's still so hot?
I feel it. Right? And that's been sitting there for a minute. I was like, damn.
That was like my parting gift from my ex-boyfriend. I was just like, this mug's coming with me. I returned actually
a terracotta mug. Wild. I'm going to take that terracotta mug from you. Mother ever. Okay, you're a real badass.
But see, that's how I am. I'm like,
you're like, that terracotta mug, it's mine. He's like, thank God, I hated that thing.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my God.
He's like, you actually did me a favor. Like, I don't know.
Okay, we have never hung out, and now I'm like, we have to hang out. Like,
that's funny.
You're gonna be like,
I would never be like, that terracotta mug, it's mine. I would have been like that. I don't know. Like,
wait, so what is that
sweatshirt that you love is mine?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Wait, so what have you taken that's like crazy? Anything crazy? Like,
I haven't. Let me see. No. The dog.
That's big.
The dog.
Oh
it was
my
my
God.
dog. It was my dog.
It was your dog.
Yes.
But there was like a slight custody battle.
No.
Okay.
I was engaged.
Okay.
And he asked me to marry him on the dog as my gift. Like, it was like, here's a ring and here's an English bulldog. And so it was my dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I just I left the ring and took the dog.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Did you like officially get engaged?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I left the engagement 6 months before we were to get married. Like, everything was set up. Everything was, and I knew when I did not want to try on wedding dresses, when they were like, let's go try on wedding dresses. And I was like, well, do you think that we could, taste cake first? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything that I was like, okay, so something is not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I left. 3 months later, he married the girl that called him in the beginning of our relationship.
Oh my gosh.
And they're still married to this day.
So what part of your journey was that? Was that in Nashville?
No, it was in California. So I was engaged and was like, hey, I'm signing a record deal to Sony Nashville, Columbia. Mm-hmm. And I gotta go. So are we going?
Yeah.
And I was back and forth. And he started talking to an ex, and I saw it, and I called my girlfriend, and I said, if I don't leave now, I'm never going to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pack up everything in my truck, in my Yukon, and Diesel. That was my bulldog at the time. And you want to drive to Nashville? She said, pick me up in 15.
Okay, wait. So because I'll edit this so it flows. But so you were working with David Foster. He made some phone calls. And then you come to Nashville at that point immediately? Or what goes down?
I was flying back and forth.
Okay.
Flying back and forth from West Hollywood to there for, I would say, a good 6-8 months.
Okay.
Just getting my feet wet in songwriting, in the community, taking meetings, learning, people, working with different writers, different producers, and I kind of skipped a little bit of a step because, I had somebody that had some clout, making some phone calls.
Yeah.
But I still, I definitely had to, go through crappy writing sessions, great writing sessions. But yeah, so I was coming back and forth for about 8 months.
Wow. And so the engagement happened during this period too?
Yeah, it was really wild. I'd been coming back for 4 or 5 months, and then all of a sudden I didn't see it coming. And we had been together for a while, 2.5 years. He was a pro snowboarder. He lost all of his endorsements. And so he lost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so we lost a lot of stuff. And we were really broke for a little bit. And so when we were really broke, or he was really broke, and he took care of everything for me. He was a wonderful provider and a wonderful worked very hard, very hard. We would go and eat Taco Bell in Santa Monica at this beach. And so he started building this huge construction company. He started building all of this stuff. He had made his money back, and we were not broke anymore
Yeah.
or worrying about anything.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, you want to go to Taco Bell like we used to? And I was like, okay, you know,
my
just
God.
thinking like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, like everything's going great, like this and this and that. And so we went and we pulled up and I was like, is that a bulldog tied to the tree? Because I love English bulldogs.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I said, that's a baby bulldog tied to the tree by himself. And he was like, let's go check it out. And I was like, okay. So went over there, checked it out, and it said, Leah Michelle, will you marry me? I turned around, and there he was with the ring. So
That's
yes,
so
I was
sweet.
officially engaged, and it happened. And then I don't think he really realized like what was really going to happen, me coming back and forth to Nashville.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot of change all at once.
yeah, all at once, you know? And I kind of think he was trying to lock me down a little bit, you know?
Well, he's like, this girl's got it
she's-
going on.
she's piecing out, and this is not happening. So I left, and I think this is crazy, I didn't have anywhere to live, and I got an air mattress, and I moved into Phil Barton's house.
Oh my gosh.
And I slept on an air mattress with my bulldog in Phil Barton's spare room.
Wow.
For like, I don't know, maybe a year. He was there when I signed my publishing deal, my record deal, everything. And yeah, I lived on an air mattress in his spare bedroom. And my fiance or ex-fiance now at the time, he, you know, cleared out my whole entire bank account. I had nothing. So I went back and I was walking dogs and doing everything I could. And then about 4 months later, I signed with Warner Chappell with This Music with Rusty Gaston. And then I signed with Sony, and they put me on Columbia Records.
Wow. So was that a year
Like in a
time?
year.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like it was literally like, I mean, I would say probably like a year and a half, because the 6 months of me coming back and forth, breakup, moving, sign, you know what I mean? About a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, were you like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Did it feel
No,
very...
I was like, let's ride.
Let's ride.
I was like, hell yeah. This is what I came for.
Yeah. So, and how was that experience? Like, was it terrifying signing with a major, or at the time was it just like, this is so exciting?
No,
like,
I didn't know any difference.
And did you immediately start opening for people?
Oh,
and
I wasn't
touring
even the ink on my record contract wasn't even dry. Like, I hadn't even signed my record contract, and I was already on radio tour, because when I was coming in those 6 months, I was writing with Carrie Barlow, Jesse Frazier, and Hillary Lindsay when Jesse was over at Major Bob.
Okay.
And so we spent 6-8 months, you know, whatever, really cultivating a sound. So when I walked into Sony, I already had the whole EP that they put out written and produced. So that's why it was like, that's why they always say preparation for that opportunity. And it really will just, what's not elevate it, but what's it called? When you put the pedal to the metal?
Put the gas on it?
No, it's the word that starts with an E.
Accelerate?
Accelerate. It's an A. Accelerate.
Accelerate.
Accelerate. Accelerate. Yeah, accelerate it when you've done, you know, the work.
Yeah.
So I went and was out on radio tour. Before that, I had every manager in town fighting for me, every booking agent in town fighting for me. I was the quickest signing to Sony in 12 years.
Wow.
It was like, so I was like, I mean, I never needed training wheels on a bike, so guess I don't need training wheels here either.
Yeah.
Like, I just was like, all right,
that's like the
dig
dream.
Deep in the saddle, let's roll out.
That's the dream scenario.
Shit, let's go.
Yeah.
And so we did that. I got signed to William Morris. I had a top 40, top 30, opened for Brad Paisley, Rascal Flatts, Jake Owen, Cole Swindell. I mean, really just had one hell of a ride.
Did you ever open for a female artist during that time?
Never.
Is that interesting?
Well, there's none that exist.
Well,
except Miranda.
Well, because I'm always thinking, like, I love to see Shania Twain still doing her thing. Especially, I feel, in the last several years, she's been very active.
Yeah.
But I'm always wondering, like, what happened to the other women that we grew up on? I would love.
Well, I don't really know. I think, like I say very often, that I never knew I couldn't do something because I was a girl until I moved to Nashville.
Same. That's exactly how I felt.
I was like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
I am a girl, I am a woman, and I am tender and I am soft, and I do need to be handled with care because that
Yeah.
is how we were made. But I can do it if I need to,
Yeah.
but I don't want to. And there's this weird stigmatism, I think that's what it's called, stigma, that comes, I forgot my encyclopedia, that comes with being a woman in the industry. And it's, we take too much time. There's too much drama. If you think about it, like we have to have more clothes. We have to have hair and makeup.
We're definitely more expensive.
We're definitely more expensive.
Yeah.
And so when there's not a quick turnaround on money, you're going to go with the baseball cap, the t-shirt, and the jeans. It's easier,
interesting.
I've
never actually thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm. And then, I think that's how I feel. And then also, they say that women don't like to hear women. And I'm a woman and I like to hear women. And also, women in pop music, they rule the charts.
Yeah.
And we're piped the same way in country music as women in pop are. So is it that the gatekeepers don't like the women's point of view, or what is it? Because the gatekeepers in pop or at other genres, they don't really see it as a problem. As far as I can see how the charts are.
If it's working there, it should work here. And I feel like every time that somebody, a female in country does well, you're kind of like, oh, like maybe, so should I not complain about anything anymore? Or like, are we good now? Or am I going to get
because it's 3 out of 50.
Exactly. Yeah.
And all that's happening now is that they're just replacing 3.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like the new 3.
New 3.
The new 3 are on the
I
way.
would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so when you were first coming out on a major, did you start to hear stuff about?
I just knew it was like, I don't ever do women, or it was very like, I was told I was difficult. I was difficult because you can't bullshit me.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the head of marketings at Sony said, you guys signed her because she's a badass and knew who she was. Now you're mad at her because she's a badass and knows who she is.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was signing like my photos. I looked down and I was like, why are my eyes brown? Clearly I do not have brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why are my eyes brown? And instead of them taking the fall for that, be like, oh, crap, we messed up.
Yeah.
They went and said that I was complaining about my photo shoot, my headshots, and that I was being difficult. And so I walked in and I remember it was everybody sitting there and they said, what's the problem? And I said, what do you mean, what's the problem? My eyes are brown. You're supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to sing, what my brand's supposed to be. And you can't even tell me, you don't even know the color of my eyes?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to listen to you about who I am?
Yeah.
So that's being difficult. That's not saying up for yourself, apparently. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of things like that is one of the negatives that I would say of my experience. And I know a lot of girls have had that experience as well.
Yeah, I feel like the one thing I wrestle with all the time, and it happens because you have an experience that leaves an imprint, and then you're constantly worried, like, am I difficult or am I too 100%. Much? Often it's not even true. No. It leaves a lasting impression. And I feel like I'm constantly trying to be nice enough, trying to be this weird, almost like I have no emotion. Like I've gotten really good at not getting emotional because there have been times where I got really emotional, especially in the dissolution of my label that I started. It felt like losing my child. Right. And I was so emotional in the ending of that. And I wish I could be who I am now, which is very even. But at the time I was just not. And it's like the fact that I even feel guilty for having any reaction is like,
there's also emotional maturity that comes, with circumstances that happen, because I have learned that you can't control what people do, but you can control how it affects you.
Yeah.
And so in that, Could I have handled it better? Probably.
Yeah.
Could I have not been so you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Probably. But when you're on the road and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're young and you're, for the first time in your life, you're in front of 10, 15, 20,000 people
Yeah.
and you're going to every radio station across God's green earth,
Yeah.
literally going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, wasted, hanging out with radio program directors, having to catch a flight at 6, be at another radio at 7 in the morning,
Yeah.
looking like you just had glam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But guys don't have to do that. Guys just roll up. They don't
Yeah.
have to use concealer. They put on a baseball cap and a t-shirt and roll.
Yeah.
We can't do that. There's a whole other standard of beauty also
Yeah.
that is that we're held to.
Yeah. That's so
But
true.
could I have handled things probably with a little bit more grace? Probably. But you could have gotten my eye color right. You're the professionals.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's such an interesting story because to me, I feel like that's something that they would have forgotten. But because of how they treated you for having a reaction, it's like left.
Yeah, I'm very like, how are you going to tell me what I'm supposed to sing, what I'm supposed to wear, what I'm supposed to say, and how I'm supposed to act?
Yeah.
When you can't even get my eye color correct.
Yeah.
You don't know me at all.
But I feel like a lot of men, they get away with getting mad and no, it's not a big deal. And I wish that we were given the same. Yeah. Well, anyway, so after you had been signed for a bit and you're like going on radio tour and stuff, you eventually became an indie artist.
Yeah.
And do you have any, not advice, but any like positives that came from being an indie artist that excite you now, or can you give a comparison?
Well, there's a lot of freedom in being an indie artist, but that's also very scary because if you don't know who you are and you don't have a tether, you will spin out of control.
Yeah.
So freedom, but freedom can be good and freedom can be bad.
Yeah.
What's your foundation?
Yeah.
So, and also, how bad do you want it? Because you have to want it so bad.
Yeah.
Being an indie artist, because you are the machine.
Yeah.
You are the machine. And, you know, I've been blessed to be able to have some amazing contacts, some amazing people that had continued to believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed to have a little bit of financial freedom from the things that I had done.
Mm-hmm.
That I could pour back into myself, but it is not for the faint of heart being an indie artist.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit more different because you aren't beholden to a major like you were 10 years ago, you know, because you have TikTok, you have this, you have that, things like that. But you have to have capital. Nothing goes viral by itself. That's a huge misconception, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yes, you can put the right hashtag. Yes, you can do this. But in reality, like, they're paying influencer campaigns. They're, you know, doing this and doing that. So you have to have some capital and really thick skin to be an independent artist. But if you have those things or can find that capital, you have the freedom to really be able to be who you are.
Yeah.
And then you have the freedom to pick your team.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to be surrounded by the people that aren't there because they have to be because they have a job. You have the freedom to pick the people and say, hey, this is what I want, and then them really get you.
In the last couple years, I've recognized that you have been embracing your Mexican roots. When you were signed before, is that something that you shied away from, or did it just kind of happen naturally where you're like, I want to embrace this and I want to start doing bilingual songs? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah. Well, to the point of freedom, when I was on Sony, I had brought up, you know, I'm half Mexican and my mom's Mexican. I'm second generation. My mom's first generation. This isn't like 9 generations that have been here. Like, we're literally straight from Mexico, you know?
Wow.
And, you know, a lot of the cowboy culture comes from the Mexican culture, which is the vaqueros, and the vaqueros were the first cowboys. And, you know, everything in the rodeo is really Spanish. The word buckaroo comes from vaquero, but the gringos, the white guys, couldn't say vaquero, and so it came out buckaroo.
Oh my gosh.
And rodeo, Spanish word, dale huerte. When now they say dali when they're team roping and they put their rope around the horn.
Yeah.
All Spanish. It comes from the Mexican culture. So I thought, wow, this would be a really great marriage because I'm both.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican and I'm a real cowgirl,
Yeah.
you know? And they were like, I just think it's time to focus on the cowgirl side of things. So, you have your big shot.
You're gonna.
I was not going to argue.
Yeah. That's what's so.
I was not arguing that point.
Yeah, I really.
You know what I mean?
I really related to you because I read the Franklin Lifestyles.
Yeah.
If you want to check out Franklin Lifestyles, she's in it this month.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this month. So yeah, I was reading about you trying to merge these two identities that feel very separate, but I think that's so common. I really relate to that because I grew up on R&B and that being the thing that I was like, this is who I am. Like it was just that point in my life where it was like, this is me. But then country was always this other influence that then it sort of morphed together. And it was like, how am I going to make this work?
Yeah.
And like, I still even get tripped up now of like, who am I supposed to be?
Right.
But I love that you have found a way to merge your two influences.
Those two influences, they really mirror one another because one wouldn't be one without the other.
Yeah.
And the traditions of the Mexican culture and of cowboy country culture, Western culture. Now, Southern culture is something I don't really know about because the only thing Southern about me is the fact that I'm from Southern California. Oh my gosh.
See, that's so
funny. I don't even say y'all. Like, I just not my thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Like, I knew you were from California, but
no.
I think I've just always thought of you as a Southern gal, too.
No. Nope. I am from the desert. I am from a rodeo family. Mm-hmm. I am from a hardworking Mexican family. I do not like collard greens. I do not like fried okra. Like there is just nothing Southern about me. I mean, I guess I love Jesus, like maybe that's something there, but I am straight. Some people say straight out of Compton. I'm straight out of the West.
Straight out of Compton. No. So
straight out the West.
So did you ever feel like, oh, am I not country enough? Because I feel like that's a big
cowgirl.
Thing. You're a cowgirl. It's just a different.
I'm just a real cowgirl. Like I grew up. What people sing about, I grew up doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So,
when did you start to decide? When did you decide like I'm gonna embrace this?
Yeah. So I lost my record deal. I was still signing William Morris. I was still signing Warner Chappell. We put some stuff out. And then I remember there's this guy named Brandon Reister, and he now lives in LA, but he was out here. And he works with J-Lo and like Diplo and like all these huge people. Mm-hmm. And he, I don't know how he found me. I have to ask him because we're still friends. He said, hey, I want to talk to you about some music or something. I don't know. I don't really remember. This was like 5 years ago. And I said something when we were like leaving dinner. It was like kind of like sassy. And he goes, you got a lot of swagger for a white girl. And I said, that's my Mexican showing. He goes, you're Mexican? And they said, oh, yeah, that's my whole entire life. Yes, I am half Mexican. And he was like, why are you not putting that in country music?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I tried and I asked about it and they just said no and this and that. And he was like, do it and do it now.
Yeah.
And so he gave me somebody that had clout, and really knew his stuff, gave me the kick in the butt that I needed to really stand in between the two worlds that I live.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And I went and pulled, so funny, I went and pulled all the statistics of like what the listeners are for Mexican and country music, Latinos and country music, blah, 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 the trajectory of what's going to be in 5 years to prove to everybody that let me do this, like William Morris management, this and that. And I think it said 12.5 million was the trajectory of the listener growth in 5 years. And we're in year 5 now. And we're about there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And also Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico. Yeah. But still, to see the Super Bowl this year. And obviously, some people didn't like it. But I think a lot of people loved it. Pizza. Yeah. So I feel like the timing.
Not everybody likes collard greens.
I definitely don't. But yeah, I feel like the timing is really, it's a great time to be doing that.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean,
it's organic and honest for you. So
yeah.
it's a good
yeah. And there's differences in being authentic and really loving your culture, both cultures, and standing in that and giving back to those cultures. And that's what I hope to do. I hope to show people, maybe they're not Mexican and white, or they're not black and white, or they're not Asian and Guatemalan, you know what I mean? Maybe they're not a mixed baby, like I am, but maybe they just need a little bit of encouragement to go against the grain. If that's really what you feel, go against the grain, because if everybody does what everybody's doing, then it's boring,
Yeah.
And I always think it's so weird when people, because country music is a very white genre.
Yeah.
And I always think it's very strange that people are so freaked out about different and freaked out about different walks of life. Because if everything was one color of green, that would be very boring.
Yeah.
And even in colors, I don't even know how many different colors of green, how many different colors of purple, how many different colors of white, how many different colors of gray, how many different colors of blah, 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 blah. Why is it accepted in nature, but it's not accepted in people?
Yeah.
God made us in all different shapes, sizes, and colors.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Puritans are kind of weird to me. I'm not pure. I'm half white and half Mexican, so...
I love your attitude around it, because I feel like more people need to have that, me included, just that confidence. You have this self-assuredness that I'm picking up that I really love, and we've never really hung out. So I've seen you, I saw you a couple times, but with Mickey Guyton, who is your best friend, you said. And so she's someone who does her own thing. I mean, her biggest breakout was finally standing in her truth and facing diversity head on, which you're doing as well. And I just think sometimes I've definitely gotten, it depends on the day, but I've definitely gotten to points where I'm trying to check the boxes for Nashville and I can't. Yeah. And so it just feels like, oh gosh, it's never going to happen because I can't check these boxes for them. And I might look the part, but the truth is I'm a girl from Baltimore who grew up on R&B music and country and wants to do both. And so it's cool to see you just talk about it. Who cares?
I think that if you just and I mean, of course, I myself, try and check boxes okay, am I Mexican enough? Is, the people that look like my mom, are they going to accept me and see it as a win because I look the way that I look, Am I Mexican enough? And then am I, I mean, I know I'm white enough, but am I going to be embraced by raza? Am I going to be embraced by, Mexicanos that are in the rancho and all of that? Am I going to be accepted by them or am I just always going to be güera? Am I always go, okay, güerita, whatever? Am I always going to be that? And I struggle with that. And I had to come to, you know what? You've always been the blonde hair, blue-eyed little girl your whole entire life with your darker cousins and your white cousins, and you've always just been who you are, and you've always just stood in your truth and been okay, I am güera. What do you want me to do about it? I can't change it. I can't change it, And so I try and remind myself, and maybe this will be encouraging to anyone out there, is just stand in your truth and be the best version of who you are. And your tribe will find you and everybody else will fall in line. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a peacock. When they walk into a room, they open up their feathers and they are look at me. You know what everyone's maybe not everyone's going to be oh, those are so beautiful, but everyone's going to be man, they think they're good. Look at that. And they're going to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's kind of what I try and remind myself all the time is stand in your truth, be the best version of you who you could be, whatever that looks like, and your people will find you.
I love that. Michael Salgado.
Mhm.
You did a song with him. And is he also a Mexican artist?
He's a Tejano artist.
Tejano artist. So what is the distinction? Because for me who doesn't know.
Yeah. So there's different, I guess, genres of like Mexican music. So there's like regional, which is regional, which is more of like the mariachi sound.
Okay.
Then there's like corridos, which is like peso pluma or fuerza regada.
Okay.
There's like the ranchera sound that is more like mariachi, and then Tejano music is regional, but they're all Texas artists.
So are these all like subgenres sort of? Okay, wow, that's so cool.
And then there's like bachata, and there's a reggaeton.
Bachata, I know. Okay.
Yeah, there's a reggaeton, there's salsa.
Yeah. Okay.
But for like música mexicana, it's regional, corridos, ranchera, Tejano, and then there's like norteño and stuff like that.
Okay.
But corridos are really like where people communicate in Mexico.
Okay.
like the the cartels, and they communicate through corridos.
Okay. I don't know that.
Yeah. Corridos is just a type of music. It's just
interesting.
Yeah, like Peso Pluma, he's like, he's corridos.
Okay.
And like Fuerza Regada, he's corridos. And then more like Karin Leon and like Raspadela, or like, I don't know, Christian Nodal. They're more like regional, which is like regional.
Okay.
But then you have like Ramon Ayala, and you have like Vicente Fernandez and stuff like that. They're more like, I don't even know how to explain what they are. They're more like, there's like love songs. They're more like ranchera music.
So was this your first bilingual song that you released?
No. My first bilingual song that I released was called Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, okay. I know that one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Jesse Frazier and I wrote it, and he produced it.
He's so great.
Yeah, he is. He produced my first record.
Wow.
And then I hit him up, and I was like, hey, do you want to try this Mexican thing with me? He was like, yes, I do.
I feel like he's the perfect person. He does so much cool stuff that's a hybrid of many things. Yeah.
So we did Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and that was kind of like, it was like La Luna and Bésame and Vaquero, but it was mainly in English.
Okay.
But it was kind of dipping my toe in, you know. Mm-hmm. I shot a music video in Mexico at my family's house. And then I don't even know what happened after that. The pandemic happened, so everything slowed down. And then I did I don't even know. And then I think I came out with This Is Me, the whole record. And that had Jerrod Neiman on it for South of the Border. Mm-hmm. And then it had Michael Salgado, which is Para Mi.
Okay.
And then Love Like Legends, which was in the video premiered in Times Square on the Paramount Plus building.
How cool.
So I really, Once Upon a Time in Mexico was the first like trickle or sprinkles of Spanish.
Okay.
But I've gotten more and more of Spanglish in it, which, you know.
So cool.
Mexican Americans talking Spanglish.
Yes. That was the one I don't know if that was like your biggest one or something.
Mexico?
Yeah.
That one or Para Mi?
Para Mi, yeah. But so Jerrod Neiman is awesome too. And his first single that came out had a different flavor to it that was like not just country. It was something.
I wanted to collaborate with Jerrod. Thank God he said yes, because he had that number one with Pitbull. And so he had already kind of like dipped his toes in the Latin market. Mm-hmm. And he also kind of has that like beachy, but not Kenny Chesney beachy, but like Mexico beachy.
Right.
And he's so white. Like he's so white. But he has that swagger to him. And then he had that number one Pitbull. So when I hit him up, I was like, hey, do you want to do South of the Border with me? I didn't hear from him for like maybe 2 months. And I was like, okay, I guess he doesn't want to do it. And then one day on a Saturday, he texted me and he was like, hey, Outlaw, I guess we're singing in Spanish. I was like, what?
Oh my God.
So then we did that. And then now on this new EP that I'm putting together and working on, Jerrod and I wrote a song called Dust, and this is the first time Jerrod's ever written in Spanish.
So does he speak Spanish?
No. Not at all.
That would be hard to write if you don't speak.
Well, I do. So
Okay.
we were in the room together.
Yeah.
Writing
So
it.
are you like, okay, we're going to say...
It's very hard because I'm like, he'll be like, what do we say? Like, you know, some type of swag, like some type of like catchphrase in like English. I don't know. That would be like, I don't know what something would be like. I don't even know like how we say like, I don't even know what would come to my mind right now. But I was like, okay, now I have to translate that into like Mexican slang. That's going to be cool. So it doesn't sound like I just like Google translated this. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very hard. Or like, you know, like what's a better word? Is it this? I don't know. Does it rhyme? And I'm like, what? You know? Yeah. So it was a growing moment for the both of us. But we have a song called Dust that's coming out that him and Lee Brice are producing.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah, so we did that in a full version of English and then a full version of Spanglish.
So when does that come out?
So, well, in Jerrod fashion, I'm waiting for the mix to come.
Yeah.
So we've already recorded everything. Everything's been produced. We recorded it at Lee's studio in Franklin, yeah. And Franklin, so I'm just waiting for that mix to come. And then I have a few other songs ready to go. And so we should be releasing pretty consecutively for the next 6 to 8 months.
That's awesome. So one single after the next?
I think so. I mean,
love that.
That's the game nowadays. Yeah. I mean, it's hard though for me to like fathom that because I'm like, how do you like put a song out and like in 6 weeks you have to put it like nobody's even heard the song.
I know.
Like, what are you doing?
I put an album out a year ago and I'm a little embarrassed that I'm still promoting it, but I feel like no one's heard some of the songs. Yes. And I got I didn't really have a marketing budget. And so I sort of got shy about posting and now I'm not really shy about posting. So I'm just kind of thinking, okay, I'm just going to keep putting these songs.
I saw this thing that said Justin Bieber posted like
97 times or something
wild, like a day or something just so insane that I would feel like, oh my God, I'm spamming people, oh my God, I'm going to be annoying and then they're going to unfollow me. Do you know what I'm saying? So if somebody like him has to do that in this day and age, we should be tripling that.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I also saw another thing where somebody said, like, everyone's cringe until they're not.
100%.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to get my cringe on then.
It's kind of like giving yourself the space to be cringe.
Yeah, oops, sorry.
And people that really love you, I feel like they'll stick around for it. But TikTok is my jam.
Yeah, like, TikTok's easier than Instagram, I feel.
can be cringe on TikTok and I don't know people on there and they're nice to me.
Yes.
And then Instagram,
I feel the same way.
My numbers just go down. I just like people just keep unfollowing me. I'm like, okay, well, but I don't know.
I feel like
this
Instagram,
is what it is.
I have to be more, not prim and proper because like I have to be more filtered, not facially, but mouth-wise filtered. And I also feel like I have to be more like polished on Instagram. And I think it's because a lot of the industry follows me on Instagram. Whereas TikTok, I don't give it. I do not.
I have no idea who's following me.
Hola, ¿qué onda, mi gente? Chupabarrita, güerita, de la onda. Like,
see, I feel like you should bring that into your Instagram.
Wild. I'm starting to, but I am sharing your feelings as well.
It's a weird mental switch of the two platforms. How funny is that?
I really feel that way. I feel like I have to be so like proper, like Mexicana or a proper white girl on Instagram. But on
proper white girl, that's what's holding us
I
back.
have to be like, hola, mis amores, que onda mi gente, like really nice, like whatever. Whereas on TikTok, I'm like drunk, like, does anybody know what's going on?
I need to make sure I'm following you on TikTok.
Does anybody know what's going on in the world with all these crazy ass people? Like,
see, I'll be your biggest fan on TikTok. I'm love it.
I'm not kidding. Like, I'm like, wait, what?
Let me see if I'm following you.
So I get that filter that's being felt.
Oh, you have a good following on there. Yeah, it's free. It's like freedom on TikTok.
And I also have noticed that on TikTok, a lot of like the people I were afraid that weren't going to embrace me, like raza, like it is all puro Mexicanos on there. Like, it is like,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, what up? Like, they love me. And that also is another thing. Just do it.
Yeah.
And if people feel that you're authentic and that you're not putting it on just to be like, oh, it's cool to be Mexican, or it's cool to be a cowboy, or it's cool to be a cowgirl now. Like, if they really feel, people can tell. You know what I mean? If they really feel the authenticity in you, they're going to be like, hell yeah, she doesn't have to say anything. And look at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Just do it. And if you can always delete it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Sort of. Unless it goes viral.
Yeah. And then people are like screen recording it.
Yeah. Wait, so would you ever tour in Mexico? Yeah,
I would love to. I would love to tour in Mexico. It's just, finding those, because they're so separate in a sense of like, William Morris doesn't have a booking. Like, country music doesn't know what artist to reach out to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about Mexico City, because I feel like every pop star I see, their biggest Spotify listener number is in Mexico City. Yeah. So that at least maybe would be a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think this next record that I put out, I think that it will, because it's going to be more bilingual than it's ever been, like English, and then songs in Spanish, and then songs in both.
Yeah.
I think that will really, really lay the foundation.
Yeah.
And I've been allotted some, cool opportunities, to like be the highest charted Latina in country music, solo female, be the first solo, Mexican American in country music to have my clothes hanging in the Grammy Museum for the power of women in country music.
Yeah. So can you talk about that? When was that, and what was that honor?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago. Wow. It hung in there. I think we just got our clothes back. I don't know. Okay, I haven't. I think that they just got shipped either to my parents' house, or they're on their way, or they're somewhere. Mm-hmm. But it was in there. It was Power of Women of Country exhibit at the Grammy Museum.
How cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they just hung clothes in the Grammy Museum.
That's so cool. So one day you just get a call and they're like, you're...
Well, no, I didn't just get a call. I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure I was pitched. I didn't know I was being pitched.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know any of that. Mm-hmm. But so, yes, I got a call saying, guess what? You're closed. Cool. But it wasn't like just random, like, hey, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure I was pitched.
That's really neat.
I'm sure the people, were watching country music and people that were doing things differently. And that's another thing. If you do things differently, it's going to open doors for you.
Yeah. That's
not the normal doors.
Yeah.
But, and if I was not embracing both sides of who I was, I don't think my clothes would be in the Grammy Museum. I don't.
That's so interesting. You have such a good head on your shoulders.
I try.
And I love that you're taking everything you learned and all the people you met in your major label days into your chapter now, because it's like the same thing, but now you own your work and you get to release it on your own dime, but also your own in your own way.
It ain't easy and it ain't cheap.
No, it is not.
It's not easy. It's not. And you have to, I mean, even after I lost my record deal with Sony, I didn't know where my next paycheck was going to come or when it was going to come, because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I went and clean houses. And then I would go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, clean houses, leave on tour to, be with, wherever, like Neil McCoy or Rascal Flatts or blah, 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 this and this and that. But I knew that was going to end, Mm-hmm. And I remember coming out after just scrubbing somebody's toilet and, like they had CMT on because obviously it's Nashville and that's what everybody watches, I guess. Mm-hmm. And my video was on CMT on TV. And I was just like.
And you were at the house cleaning the house.
And I was like, I'll be right back. I went into the garage and just bawled crying. Just was like, I said, I'm sorry, I have to leave for the day. I would never usually leave, but I was just like, I can't do this today. I just can't. And it wasn't that I was too good for it. It was just like, what that is going on? This is some bullshit, But I guess, it's character building.
Yes. And I think that the more I hear stories like that and of people, anyone in the entertainment, like it could be actors, whatever, the more I'm like, okay, maybe it's okay that I kind of go between these, it's all going to work out and, oh my God, who am I anymore? Like I just float between, but it is crazy how the entertainment industry is unlike anything else. And it's hard to explain to people outside of it. But my dad's always telling me, he's like, where we're from, he's like, everyone thinks that you're doing great and you have viral songs and I'm like, and they don't know that I was paid $100 for all that virality. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wild. It's wild.
Or people think you're, on CMT, or people think, like Franklin Magazine, or you're in, Times Square. It's like, no, I pay a publicist to pitch me for that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for saying shit.
Oh, you're fine.
Not supposed to say shit.
No. I think it's fine. I think we're good.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you have such a good head on your shoulders, and I'm inspired by you. So new music is coming out. Yep. Where can people find you if they're not already following you?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok as Leah Galván Turner. So that's my full name. And so I really started putting that out there. And then I haven't changed my handles on Instagram or Facebook yet, but it's Leah Turner Music.
Okay. Are you going to change your handle, do you think?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the approval to come through.
Oh, okay. Because I think, now I'm following you on both, so awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
It was so nice to really get to know you.
In my 30s,